There's two steps in having a successful relationship. Number one, show up. Just be there. But that's not enough. You gotta also be present. You gotta physically show up, but you gotta be mentally, emotionally, spiritually invested as well. This is actually what the holiday of Sukkot is all about. Sukkos is about not just showing up, but it's about being present, being fully there. So we have the four species that God commands us to collect on the holiday of Sukkot: the lulav, the palm branch, the esrog, the citron, the aravis and hadassim, the myrtle, and the willow. And the Torah says, take all these, bring it together. But the Torah gives specific emphasis with the esrog, the citron, telling us that "V'lakachtem lachem" creates hadar. Take for yourself a beautiful fruit. It's not enough just to take a fruit. It should be beautiful. People spend a lot of money on esrog. The Torah doesn't necessarily tell us that the other three species need to be beautiful. The esrog itself, the citron, it's got to be beautiful. And here's the reason why. The Midrash says that these four species correspond to four different parts of the body. The esrog represents the heart. It kind of has that heart shape. The lulav, it's long and tall, represents the spine. The myrtle, actually like the eyes, and the willow is like the lips. It actually has that lip shape. And you take these four species, you bring it together, we're collecting ourselves, we're bringing our whole self together, we're talking to God with every fiber in our being. Kol atzmoisai tamarna, that's what the Midrash says. With our entire fiber of our being, we're bringing ourselves together, getting ourselves together so we can be present in this relationship with God. We do it in the Sukkah so God can embrace us. But why is it only the esrog, the citron, that needs to actually be beautiful? We don't necessarily need to look for the most beautiful of lulav, although we can and we do, but the Torah requires us to have a beautiful fruit that creates hadar, specifically by the esrog, specifically by the citron. Rav Naftali of Rapshitz would explain that the esrog is the heart, and that's where we need to put the most emphasis on making beautiful. Yes, the eyes, the spine, the lips, the external of the person is important. You got to show up externally. We got to be present emotionally, spiritually. Rahmana libaba, God wants our heart invested in the mitzvah. He doesn't want us just to show up and do it. He wants us to experience it. Okay, so here's the story. There was once a very poor individual. He barely had money to scrape together a sukkah. He would buy people's leftover boards and nails and stuff every year on sukkahs. His sukkah was, who knows, it was barely kosher. It wasn't physically beautiful, but spiritually, oh man, you could feel the joy. You could sense the passion. You could hear the singing. You could experience the love in that sukkah. His neighbor had an immaculate sukkah, a beautiful sukkah. It was one of the sukkahs where, you know, that joke, like, okay, fine, I'll go camping. It was a beautiful sukkah. But this neighbor he was wealthy and he was a grump. He did not like his neighbor's noise and all the passion and energy. He found it to be a nuisance and he didn't like it. It would bother him every year. So one year he came up with a scheme. He's going to go to the entire neighborhood and pay them not to sell this guy any of their leftovers. He's going to buy him out. So comes next Sukkot, and this poor man is looking for leftovers, as he always does, and nobody's going to sell him anything. He doesn't know what to do. He's not going to have a sukkah. He's walking by a cemetery, and there's a man there carrying some boards. He says, can I ask what you're doing with those boards? He says, I'm the Malach HaMavis, I'm the angel of death. I'm preparing a coffin for somebody. Whose death are you preparing for? He says, the name of that grumpy neighbor. He says, do me a favor. Sell me the boards. You don't need a coffin for him. The guy's dead anyways. He's already dead. Okay. He purchases this coffin, this beams that was and boards that were going to be a coffin, and builds his humble sukkah as he always does. And the spirit in there again is beautiful, joyous, singing, dancing. The neighbor's just like shocked. What happened? I thought I bought this guy out. I thought he's not going to have a sukkah. He knocks on the door. He says, what's going on? I don't understand. I tried putting a stop to this. How did you get a sukkah? He tells him the story. I bumped into the angel of death. He was preparing a coffin for you. I said, don't worry, leave him alone. He's dead anyways. right? His Yiddishkeit's dead. There's no passion and fire in there. And the man understood the point and understood that he has to kind of refocus and reorient and re-understand and rethink his Yiddishkeit, re-understand his Judaism. That has to be focused not just on the beauty, the immaculate structure of the sukkah, but the spirit inside. Like that esrog, the heart, it's what we have to make the most beautiful. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Chag Sameach, friends.